Welcome back to Lawrence, Kansas. We are ready for Northern Iowa and Creighton as we serve it up here in the first round of the NCAA Volleyball Championship. Lee Fleisig, Jill Dorsey Hall with you as we look at the keys to victory now for both of these squads, beginning with Northern Iowa.
I think it's going to be critical what they do best, defense, defense, defense. I can't stress that enough. Both their discipline at the plane of the net with their blocking, and then behind, they really work cohesively as a system. And you don't always have to terminate block because Creighton is big and physical, but if you have positive touch, you can gobble that back up, dig turn transition to a kill, and then don't let the offensive mind player of Dimke, their setter, get active and beat you. You got to stay disciplined on your releases.
And how about for the Creighton Blue Jays?
For Creighton, I think they're big and they're physical, and I think it's going to be really critical for them to first ball side out. They don't want to get into long rallies. They don't want to get in those plays with Northern Iowa. There's going to be some of those, but then just physical play at the net. I mean, they really can spread the ball around. They have some big arms and take care of the ball and put it away quickly.
Two teams, as we mentioned, that are very familiar with each other, played already this year, and you look at the two head coaches, Jill, who are very, very familiar with each other and very, very good friends.
Yeah, they were actually texting each other along the selection show, and they're really disappointed that, one of these teams has to lose, and you can see a big hug there, and it's almost a disappointment that, hey, we have to, somebody has to survive and advance. But I talked to head coach for Creighton. She has much respect for Bobby Peterson and said, I don't know if she knew just how big of a mentor she has been throughout my career. She was a young coach coming in to Creighton, and she really leaned on the support of Bobby Peterson. Not too far from each other, these two schools, and they had been in the Missouri Valley for a long time at that time, and they're great friends. A ton of respect between these two, so it should be a good one.
Creighton will be in the whites, trimmed in blue and black. Northern Iowa in the purple and gray. On the right-hand side of your screen, we are ready to get the first round underway here from Lawrence, Kansas. What's the heart rate like right now for a player as you get ready to start the NCAA Volleyball Championship?
It just has a little bit different feel, You got a little bit more extra oomph of adrenaline because, you lose, you go home. I mean, those are the implications that you're dealing with and that you're playing with. And you want to set the tone early. You want to be, dig in here and put a little fight. I mean, every point, there's definitely emphasis on it.
You mentioned Creighton and how red hot they are. Creighton has won 20 matches in a row. The last loss was a long time ago.
That's to Nebraska, in Nebraska. I mean, you're talking about a team in Creighton that hasn't lost since September 17th, and that was on the road in Lincoln, Nebraska, to arguably the best team in the country.
All right, Northern Iowa serves it up. We're underway. Put away there by Piper Thomas, and the Panthers are on the board first.
Well, that serve led to that overpass. It was a great serve there from Heather Hook, the setter, that's starting off now serving for UNI.
Creighton battling to find some rhythm right now, and again, it was Piper Thomas.
And Piper Thomas just staying active. I mean, that is a great play from your middle blocker going up with that. It was essentially going to be a free ball, but she said, hey, I can still get that with my hands and with a block.
That one goes off the back wall, and Creighton is on the board.
That was really their first crack at it. It was a wonderful response, I think, from Jaylee Winters, who was a primary pass on that ball right up to the setter, able to run their offense for the first time.
And here is Lydia Dimke. Chance for Creighton. Soft touch. And well done there by Marissa Wilkinson.
And Wilkinson is one of those players that's a bit interchangeable. You're going to see her in the middle blocking zone. You're also going to see her on the right side, depending on what rotation that they're in. That time, an attack from the right side behind it will tip over the top of the block. Great vision.
Dimke with another nice serve. Held tries to push it across, and it goes into the net.
And a couple early back row attacks from Held for UNI. So a pass essentially not up to the plane of the net to get their offense running.
Brittany Witt there to cover for Creighton. Put away by Taryn Cloth.
I mentioned they have some long physical players as Creighton, and you're seeing that right there. I mean, that is a heavy arm swing. 6'4" sophomore in Taryn Cloth.
With there to cover. Wilkinson again. And now it's Creighton up 5-2.
And Creighton on a heck of a run right now, and they're just having a lot of offense. I mean, this time the seam once again is Wilkinson, goes after it.
How about the job Dimke is doing serving right now? Northern Iowa able to end that stretch. Lindsay Scholes puts it away.
And that's a beautiful response. I mean, just working the ball around. You had some space in that deep opposite corner, cross court.
That serve just long from the Panthers. Bree Weber.
When you talk about the success that Creighton has had, I mean, you're talking about a team that went through a very tough Big East Conference, won that 18-0, and that's tremendous.
Wilkinson was there to get a hand on it. Dumped over, and effectively by UNI.
And a couple of points now UNI's won has been a little nifty play. I mean, there's been some good play at the net. This one is a little dump over and unexpected on that. So very selective that was from Heather Hook, the junior setter.
Panthers able to cover. This is held. UNI with a nice response here.
And I'm such a big fan of Amy Held. I mean, you talk about a player that's 5'9", but she's so crafty. And as an outside, as a pin player, I mean, you could maybe get knocked for being undersized, but she makes up that and just her vision and her ability to ball control.
She's a tremendous athlete, isn't she? Wilkinson just caught the back line.
I thought somebody was in the net, actually. I think they called a net violation, so point still, regardless, goes over to the Blue Jays.
Creighton up 7-5 as Witt serves. Another good Creighton serve. But the Panthers swing right back. And again, it's Hainline.
That's Hainline being active in transition. Essentially, it was a free ball for a free ball. It was if you think about Northern Iowa just bettering the ball with a free ball, it was tough for Creighton to handle. They give them a free ball back over, and then Hainline running quick in the middle.
That one is just wide. No.
And there's a
touch.
touch.
Yes.
Yeah, good touch at the net. And keep in mind, there's no challenge system here. I know that's been a trial. In the Big 12 Conference that, we got to see a lot. But here it's, see the quick touch on the plane of the net. The ball was going to go wide, I believe.
Ballinger serves. From the back row, that was Weber. Hainline there to get a hand on it. Dumped over. And again, it's UNI with a crafty dump, Heather Hook.
And I know I talked about Dimke, the setter for Creighton, but how about the play thus far from Heather Hook, the setter for Northern Iowa? And she had a dump earlier, and that one just switching up where she's going in the zone. And the ball was tight to the net, but great awareness, knowing that opening in the deep corner was open.
And he held with the serve. It was Hainline who sends it back.
And it was one of the emphasis I talked about is discipline at the plane of the net. You have to wait a little bit longer. You have to settle in. When I talked to head coach Kristen Berthal-Booth for Creighton, she says, here's the thing I know about Bobby's teams. They're going to be so good defensively. They're not going to popcorn jump up and down on the other side. They're going to play balls up just like we're seeing right now in this rally.
That one too tough from Lauren Smith.
And Lauren Smith, a senior on this Blue Jays team, has a phenomenal career. We've seen her on the court since her freshman season. She's done such a good job locking down that middle blocking position for Creighton.
Jaylee Winter serves. Outside they go to Bree Weber. Was there a touch?
No touch. And I think Weber knew. She wasn't pleading for it. Trying to go high hands on the attack, but take a good look at this. No change in the trajectory of the ball.
Panthers go outside, played twice by Bree Weber. Held pounds away. Witt was there. Big swing from Jaylee Winters.
It just seems like big swing after big swing of coming from Creighton right now. And
6'3".
That's Winters. I mean, a player that does so much. A 6 rotation player that they can use as an outlet essentially in that middle back position when she's on the back row.
Tough play for Hook, who had to just dump it over. Panthers unable to save it. Point to Creighton. And Northern Iowa wants a timeout. The Blue Jays have jumped out to a 12-8 lead here in the opening set. From Lawrence, first round of the NCAA Volleyball Championship. Creighton up 12-8 over Northern Iowa. Welcome back to Lawrence, where Creighton holds a 12-8 lead over Northern Iowa. Lee Fleisig, Jill Dorsey Hall with you. And what are the Blue Jays doing here to take this early lead?
Well, they're able to put the ball away. I mean, you're hitting at a hitting percentage and efficiency of .571. And look no further than Marissa Wilkinson. 4 kills on 4 attempts. Cloth as well, 2 kills on 2 attempts. And Lauren Smith, 2 kills on 2 attempts.
That's efficiency. That's
efficient. So UNI is going to have to figure out how to get some stops and slow them down.
That was held with a nice save. Chance now for the Panthers. Sent back, point to Creighton. Taryn Cloth. Looked like she got it.
And I don't know, this one might have been off the ground before it hit her foot. Let's take a look at this. On a slide attack, hits the hands down, and then it hit her foot.
Ooh.
So that was an interesting call, I think.
This would be a case where the replay
yeah, a challenge,
would help you.
As I like to say, the volleyball gods agreeing, I think, and the ball goes back over to Northern Iowa on this play. But take another look. I think it's interesting. Hands off the block, and then the floor, and then her foot.
Yeah, hit the floor first. But Northern Iowa sends it right back with a service error.
I
so
think
it's Creighton again by 5.
It's necessary, though, if you're UNI, to serve aggressive, because if you just give a one-on-one attack to Creighton, I mean, they've shown already how efficiently they have been on the offensive side.
Scooting through that Creighton defense after a hit from Piper Thomas. It's interesting to see in Kansas, who we'll see in our second match, does such a good job of putting pressure on teams with the serve, and Creighton seems to be able to do the same thing.
Yeah, they definitely have. And Heather Hook was one of those players in the beginning of this set to do the same, but Creighton responds with a first ball side out. And
Marissa Wilkinson, 5 for 5 now.
5 for 5, and you need to slow her down, because Creighton has been so good when she's hit 400 or above. They're 33-0. So if there's one player you want to try to slow down, it's definitely Wilkinson.
Stemke serving again. And this time a big block there from Cloth. Wilkinson with a nice save. Witt able to play it. Wilkinson fires away, and they finally stopped her.
Maybe they heard me. They knew they needed to stop Wilkinson, and that's a huge block. They're just diving in here to this angle. You can see up and over is Weber. Teaming up with Piper Thomas coming in their closing.
Good save there from Sorgi. Point goes to Northern Iowa.
And they got to give her room to essentially set this ball. So you cannot intrude with the setter to let her allow that space for that secondary contact. So I love how Heather Hook went up there and went after that ball. And Cloth just intruding on that too much.
Big hit again from Cloth. A 6'4" sophomore can bring some power. First team all Big East player will serve it up. Wilkinson was there. They are powerful, aren't they? Jaylee Winters, 6'3", another first team all Big East player.
And give us some credit here to Ballinger. See how she was pressing in the middle there, and that gave a little bit of space. So Piper Thomas had to wait. She had to go, respect her, and then got out there late. So it gave an open net essentially to Winters to go after.
Both puts it in the net, so that'll send it back to Northern Iowa. Kendall Sorgi. And again, it's Jaylee Winters.
And this is just you could see there a tandem play. So again, that's Hainline jumping with the middle, and then it's essentially a one-on-one attack. And Creighton has just been really dominating right now offensively.
Held swings away. Witt there to cover. Soft touch this time from Winters. And you certainly have to respect the power, don't you?
You do. You have to respect the power, and they haven't had too many tip shots, but when they did, that's a great shot there from Jaylee Winters, just showing a little bit of versatility as well.
Timeout Northern Iowa as Creighton has pulled out to a 20-13 lead here in the opening set. Take a look at that last point, and Jaylee Winters has just been pounding away and gives them the old changeup.
I read out the top of the block, and that's just vision here. You can see a little space over the top as Heather Hook has to defend and go back and respect her ability to hit line.
She really sold it well too, didn't she?
Yes, she did. She went up there. Creighton, though, we thought this is going to be a battle. Something has to give here between a very high-powered offensive team and then a very solid defensive team here in UNI. So I think what it's going to take for Northern Iowa to dig back in this, especially this first set, is just positive touches, get some things going, momentum. And we talked about defense, and trying to get Creighton to play into some long rallies.
We saw Northern Iowa earlier this year here in Kansas.
There's some long rallies.
There are some long rallies, and they are a scrappy team, and they will fight and battle and claw until the very end.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, a team that's coached by such a phenomenal coach, one of the 10 most winningest active coaches here in NCAA volleyball, and Bobby Peterson. They're going to fight and claw, and she was a tremendous player in her own right. On the other hand, you talk about Creighton, I mean, they have not faced defeat in so long. I mean, it has been since the middle of September since they had a loss. And I asked their head coach, Kirsten Booth, I said, are you worried? She goes, no, I'm not worried. I mean, that's a good thing. It's a good problem to have. Their team's just been, pretty consistent.
Just long from Bree Weber. A 20-match winning streak. And oh, by the way, that one loss was maybe the best team in the country. Right. So at Nebraska.
I said, what do you attribute that to? And she goes, just the sense of maturity of bringing their A game and their focus to every single match, every single practice.
Hainline misses wide there, so Creighton up 22-13 as Brittany Witt steps back to serve.
Brittany Witt, a freshman, a true freshman coming in, playing that libero position. And our head coach told me, there was something special about her when we were recruiting her. Multiple people told her that, and she's definitely provided a lot of defensive spark for the Blue Jays.
There from Weber. Caught a little dirty there.
And double contact from Dimke, trying to run the slide, just couldn't come out of her hands cleanly.
All right, Northern Iowa trying to pull back into this opening set. Sinnott serves. And again, it's that power of Creighton, just too much to handle.
They started off at the first 2 points of this match a little bit, off out of system, pass pulled off the net. But since that point, they have been so good in their first contact with serve and pass.
Ballinger puts it in play. Held has to track it down. Chance for the Blue Jays. That one's long from Lauren Smith. Now it's back to Amy Held for UNI. Nice dig there from Sorgi. Held swings away. Point to Creighton. Was it Weber in the net, perhaps?
I think it was 4 contacts. I think we were going to say that the ball didn't clear the plane of the net on the back row attack from Held.
So it's set points now for Creighton. Weber swings away. There's a touchback there, so point to UNI. The Panthers still alive here in the opening set.
And Weber turns around saying, let's go. I mean, trying to get something positive on their side of the other side of the floor. Get some momentum, if you will. This one might be too out of reach, but we've got to get some things going.
That one sails wide. Point and opening set to Creighton, 25-16. The Blue Jays draw blood first and lead Northern Iowa 1-0 here in Lawrence. Creighton has taken the first set over Northern Iowa. Lee Fleisig, Jill Dorsey Hall with you. You've mentioned these two old conference rivals. Creighton, of course, now in the Big East, but there was a time they saw each other a lot.
A lot, and look at that advantage from Northern Iowa, 41-7. Neutral floor as well, but you know, Creighton has had the upper hand as of late, especially I mentioned earlier, they were able to sweep the Panthers earlier in Los Angeles the second weekend of this season, but they've won the last 4 out of 5, but it's the first time they've matched up with this implications in NCAA tournament time. So I think you talk about a coach and Bobby Peterson, she's definitely going to make in-match, adjustments. And then Creighton, I think if you can keep playing that efficiently, especially from side out, able to side out 70% in that first set, and that's tremendous. And hit at a hitting efficiency of 379, and also able to hold UNI .029. So you definitely need to turn up the dial, I think, defensively. If you're UNI, just any kind of touch, keep the ball alive, make them work a little bit harder. Creighton, but they've been so efficient thus far.
Lydia Dimke will serve it up. Second set is underway. And again, it's an effective serve. Winner's there to cover. Nice dig from Sorgi. Northern Iowa gets a big block from Piper Thomas.
I'm right out of the gate. It's a longer rally, so they're both teams making some digs, a couple back row attacks, and then finally a terminating block. But that's the play. That's the style of play that UNI wants to get into.
Bree Weber puts it in play. They go outside one more time. That was Cloth, and there was a touch. So we'll be even at 1.
A smart shot, I think, from Cloth to go after the hands of Hook. High hands down the line, shaded at line.
Cloth serves it up. Held has to run it down. Tough play. Still alive. Wilkinson did with a swing. Held again. That one's wide.
And she just missed it, but that was an amazing up after essentially an open net attack from Wilkinson that she had, able to keep that rally alive, but point goes back over to the Blue Jays.
Held can't elevate on that one. Creighton up 3-1. Service error from Cloth. So we'll go back to the Panthers. Kendall Sorgi serves. Nice coverage there from Winters. Wilkinson. Winters there again. Now Winters swings. Nice save from Witt. Winters was there for Creighton. Northern Iowa unable to save it.
But a tougher play, and again, another long rally. Creighton able to survive through that one and get that side out, but it was much tougher.
That was your recipe, right? Winters got a touch on that one. Back outside to Winters, too strong. Tell you, Jaylee Winters is very, very athletic. You've seen her make some nice plays. She's powerful, but she can cover some court too.
Yeah, athletic and a great 6-rotation player too. I mean, she has to do a lot. I mean, focus on a lot of different aspects of the game, but here is just listening to her teammates, and she immediately turns around, points to the sideline and says, you know, great communication, good talk, because that was an adjustment, trying to attack that line.
Witt with a fantastic dig there. Winters got a hand on that one. Brittany Witt's covering some court. Winters swings away. Panthers fighting to keep it alive, and they do. And finally, Ballinger. Northern Iowa wants a timeout after Creighton answers a couple of great efforts from the Panthers. They lead here in Lawrence on ESPN. Creighton has the early lead here in the second set after taking the opening set over Northern Iowa. Here in Lawrence, Kansas, you said that Northern Iowa would have to battle and get some long rallies. They're doing that. Yeah. And Creighton's still winning the points.
They're still not able to do it. And I think that Kirsten Berthel-Booth's going to have to be pleased with her Blue Jays, because she said, you know, I got to tell them, we got to expect to see the ball back on our side and to see some long rallies. But in this second set, especially where we've seen a number of them early on, you know, they're really able to outlast UNI, what UNI does best.
Service there from Brittany Witt. Takes it back to the Panthers. Ballinger, another one of those powerful frontline players, a 6'1" freshman. Another effective serve. Dimke got a hand on it. Outside to Winters. Looked like a touch. There was.
And again, we're seeing that adjustment where she's trying to attack a little bit more, shading towards the line on this as she goes up. Exactly where she wants to place it, and high off the hands.
Witt there to cover. Winters swings away off the hands and out of play. It's Creighton now 9-3.
We'll give a lot of credit to the freshman libero for the Blue Jays on gobbling that ball up. I mean, that was an athletic play, moving backwards to even get that ball and keep that up in the air. Witt already has 9 digs in this match.
That serve sails just long. Northern Iowa pulls within 5. And now it's Amy Held.
You know, I mentioned at the top, Dimke being aggressive. We've yet to see her even attack, but she's had so many offensive firepower to go to. She hasn't had to do that.
Held with a nice dig there. There's Witt again. Dumped over, as you said. Is she listening in? She dumps again.
She's trying to prove a point to me, I think. Hey, I heard you. I can be active. I'm going to go ahead and get this kill.
There's a reason I'm the Big East Player of the Year, okay?
That was a great story, too. Our head coach got a phone call, or a message saying, hey, I'm looking to transfer from Purdue. And they were actually heading out to San Diego for the regional last season, and she called her immediately. And she said, yeah, yes, we'd love to have you. I'm very aware of who you are and your style of play, and she has just been tremendous.
A little too low from Cloth. A point Northern Iowa. That's one message you're glad you got, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And how about this? Hainline was there, but into the net, so it was going to be 4 contacts. But yeah, you're pleased when You have the future Big East Player of the Year calling you and asking you, and she didn't even actually, interesting enough, she didn't even visit campus. She said, hey, do you want to come and see, come to Omaha and see the campus and visit, and she didn't. And I think that she had maybe talked to Maggie Bromert, the former setter who had transferred from Georgia into the program, and I think her, comfortable with saying, that she had came in, and so it was a pleasant surprise to say the least.
Now Northern Iowa with a bit of a rally, pulling to within 10-7. Piper Thomas this time.
And you see she's just working. She didn't have her full transition there. You just had to gather and up quick and available.
Blue Jays can't pull it out of the net. And it's Northern Iowa again. And this time it's Creighton who wants a timeout.
And serving aggressive. So give some credit right now to Northern Iowa fighting and gritting their way back into the second set.
What have the Panthers done to pull back into the second set?
Yeah, I mean, they've had some good play, I think, with their service line. Serving aggressive. I think Creighton's been a little bit uncomfortable and out of system as of late now. And Hayline on the front row, I think, has provided some firepower, but also her fellow middle blocker, I think Piper Thomas has been great this afternoon. 5 kills to lead the Panthers, hitting .400, involved in 2 of the 4 team blocks for UNI, so give her some credit. And you knew, I mean, we both knew a team that is coached by Bobby Peterson wasn't going to go away. I mean, they were going to fight, and they were going to dig, and they were going to grovel for some points. And we've seen some long rallies. And once you start to get some more balls up, then it doesn't seem as easy. The court doesn't seem as open as it has been.
So it's Creighton now with a 2-point lead over Northern Iowa after the Blue Jays took the opening set. I'm just looking at the elbows there of Brittany Witt, and that jersey is worn because she is all over the court, and I just that is just so fitting for her because she is all over the place, and as you mentioned, just a freshman and doing a great job for Creighton. All right, Northern Iowa to serve, down 2 here in this second set. And again, an effective serve. Held has to chase that one down. Winner's there to cover. That ball is long from close, and once again, it's Northern Iowa now down just a point.
And a tremendous dig. I mean, you guys just got to love that play defensively to keep that ball alive, better the ball, and then a hitting error on the other side for the Blue Jays.
That ball is still up. Lauren Smith finally ends that point, but
man,
that shows you the grit from Northern
exactly.
Iowa, doesn't it? That ball looked like it was down twice.
Keep this ball alive and then taking care of it. There was some misdirection there, redirection from Lauren Smith.
Creighton finally able to end that run, but it's Northern Iowa right back.
Well, that was a rifle from Weber. I know we had missed seeing her play the front 3 rows earlier against Kansas. She had struggled had an ankle injury this season.
Better than 3 kills per set now. Wilkinson saw that one come back. Didn't see that in the first set, did she?
And a big chest bump from Amy Held coming up, and there's smiles all around. And you do it in a number of ways. Defensively at the plane of the net with your blocking, but also picking up some things on the back row right now for UNI.
The Panthers have fought back to even and now take a 12-11 lead.
And a double contact called, I believe, on Dimke. Didn't come out cleanly. Let's take a look at this. There's too much rotation.
Just Northern Iowa again. Piper Thomas.
I give a lot of credit there to the pair, actually.
Lindsay Scholes, yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay Scholes getting that with her right hand.
Jess Bird into the match now for Creighton. Here we go. The Panthers somehow keep that ball up. Wilkinson. Cloth just keeps swinging away. Too low from Held, and Creighton pulls within one.
And but you have so many positive touches at the net. And I mentioned you didn't have to terminate, but you kept getting on the other side. I mean, touches over the net, and then finally Creighton able to win that point, and a much needed side out now to get the ball back over.
Cloth with a tough angle. It goes wide. Point to the Panthers, up 2. Weber serves. Chance for Northern Iowa. Dumped over. Northern Iowa says Dimke's not the only one with some heady play, as Heather Hook answers.
And you don't expect this because she's still down. I mean, she's not attacking when she's on the front row. So essentially she's coming from the back row, staying lower than the plane of the net, so she can do that. And just a little dump over. It's more about placement and timing.
Some effective serving here from Northern Iowa has given the Panthers a 16-12 lead. You always talk about this is such a game of momentum.
Yeah, no doubt.
Northern Iowa clearly has it now. How did they do it?
They've been serving extremely aggressive, and I don't think that Creighton has been on point with their first contact. You can see here Dimke having to use her platform instead of her hands, and maybe that just changed the tempo of the set a little bit more when you have to, set that ball up essentially with your platform instead of your hands. The timing is off a little bit. The ball was pushed outside of the antenna just a bit much, and there's smiles all around, and some good things start to flow. And, when you have some positive touches, and in the first set, Creighton was so offensively efficient, able to hit 379. And now in this set, Creighton, when you look at hitting percentage, they're .057. So a tremendous job from Northern Iowa just with their defense at the plane of the net, their first level, and then also secondary, and digging some balls, and good things happen. And I think that Heather Hook, the setter, I think is doing a great job. I think Piper Thomas as well in the middle blocking position. I love the timeout though, of Creighton, and I think that Kirsten told me that she said this team has a sense of level of maturity about them that they've seen. And I said, describe your team for me, and that's what she's used. She said they've attacked this, and they even seem at this point right now, there's a sense of calmness to them. You're talking about a team, though, that hasn't been pushed to the limit too much. I mean, there's been a couple matches in the Big East where they were down, but you're talking about a team that 18-0 in Big East play. Their last 5-set match against Villanova went 5, and they were down in a couple of those sets in that championship match against Xavier.
All right, back in play. Creighton. There's Marissa Wilkinson. They've been able to answer her a little bit here in the second set. She kind of had her way in the first set.
And I like this change in combination play, actually, to have all 3 attackers in front of the setter.
A lot of energy right now on the Northern Iowa side.
And I think that's what they need. That's the style of play, the energy, that effort. Great 3 rows from Piper Thomas as I now hit the senior middle blocker, Hainline, checking in.
One more hop in the step.
Another good serve that led essentially to the attack off the net.
That was a tough play. Ballinger had it over her head. Had to just find a way to fight that ball, and she did a good job. Creighton down 3. Like Winter's got a hand on that one. Nice work that time from Crawford. Now Creighton beginning to answer, down 2.
Big smile from Dimke, the setter. And between Jaylee Winters and her, and just behind her head, putting this high ball up there. That's difficult, but a big-time smile looking to her teammate. And the aggressiveness I think that Winters showed on that play was great.
Held with a swing. Nice dig from Witt. Winters got a lot on that ball. Held. Witt is there. Big block from Lauren Smith, the 6'3" senior. Now it's Northern Iowa wants to talk things over. You talked about the physicality of Creighton, and you really see it there, don't you?
Yeah, you do, and that's just working there side to side laterally from Lauren Smith. A 14 block for Creighton, and a good response now from them, but they definitely can make some physical plays. They have a lot of offensive weapons. They're long. They have some heavy arms.
And you talked about the maturity from the Creighton side as well. There wasn't a lot of panic as Northern Iowa mounted that rally.
Not at all. And I mentioned there hasn't been pressed 5 too often, but there were times where they were down. Their last match against Xavier, they were down in 2 of those 3 sets. And I kind of joked with Kirsten Berthal Booth, and she says, you know, I was actually pleased. I kind of wanted us to be pushed to 5. I mean, pleased that they won, of course, but when you look down, I said, Coach, it's been a long time since you've lost. You know, are you worried about that? She said, you know, not worried again, but they have been pressed, and a conference that is good. I mean, the Big East is tough. Same goes as said for the Missouri Valley Conference. Yeah. You have Missouri State coming out of the Missouri Valley. You know, UNI, Wichita State as well.
And Northern Iowa's played a fine schedule too. You talk about Creighton, USC, Michigan, Kansas. They've seen a lot of the big ones.
They have, and they're definitely not going to shy away from it. Same goes to say for Creighton. I think they had a tremendously difficult non-con schedule. And all prepared, I think both coaches, they've done a great job of preparing their team for what they're going to see in the NCAA tournament. And big reason why their RPI was strong and why they're here.
We're seeing Jaylee Winters take control again. Even at 17.
And Winters is essentially the first player to register double-digit kills in this match, her 11th of the afternoon.
And it's Winters again. Lauren Smith was there as well. Creighton has grabbed a 1-point lead. Outside to Held. Crawford there to cover. Now it's Creighton with the strut.
Quite a
Megan
swing
Ballinger
in the second set of just momentum on one side over to the other. A 5-0 run. Excuse me, a 6-0 run right now.
Lauren Smith got a hand on that one. Held swings. Winters. Held, and the Panthers battle back though. Amy Held's a competitor, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, no doubt. And that was a block. 5-9 going up and coming up with it.
Lauren Smith has turned back, and we're even at 19.
2 seniors teaming up together in Hainline and Held.
They'll go back to Winters. There hasn't been an answer for Jaylee Winters. Creighton the first to 20.
Now you're talking about 7 kills in this second set alone for Jaylee Winters.
Ballinger serves, and it's an ace. That was a tough serve right on the corner, wasn't it?
That jump float, the bottom just absolutely fell out of it. From my angle, I understand. It looked like it was going to sail out of bounds, but it just dropped last second.
Witt with a nice cover. Winters goes cross court. Panthers will run that one down. Winters again. Perfect placement. Jaylee Winters is coming up big.
And watch here, one-on-one opportunity. And she goes cross court, deep corner.
Tight to the net. Lauren Smith made that one difficult. Delaney Bolton in the match now for the Panthers. Held to Winters. Held got a hand on that one. Then she swings away and ends the Creighton rally. I wonder how many times Amy Held heard that she was only 5'9" or only 5'9", and just she raises her game, it seems, every time. She probably heard that.
And she brings that competitive spirit and that fire and that volleyball IQ that you just really can't replace. I mean, you talk about a sheer competitor, and she's the type of player you want on your side for sure.
Winters off 1 foot. Takes Creighton to set point. And she'll step back to serve.
And make that 9 kills for Jaylee Winters in the second set. Add to her 14 of the match.
Witt there to cover. Dimke dug it out of the net. Lauren Smith was there to end this second set. 25-20. Creighton rallies back and now leads 2-0 in Lawrence here on ES Kansas, where Creighton holds a 2-0 lead over Northern Iowa. Leif Leisig, Jill Dorsey Hall with you as the Panthers come back on the court after the intermission. Kirsten Bernthal Booth, in her 14th year, the two-time National Coach of the Year, has to be very, very happy, I would think, with what she's seen out of her Blue Jays. They were tested there in the second set. They responded, took that second set to take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, I definitely. I think she has to be pleased just for that fight when her team was down in that second set, or UNI was definitely fighting and extending the rallies and getting them out of system. They settled down, they responded nicely, and they're able to run away with that one in that second.
So Creighton, one set away from advancing into the second round. But we've seen this Northern Iowa squad before, and even though they did lose in straight sets here to Kansas,
yeah,
it was a battle.
It was a battle, exactly. I mean, it was a sweep, but Kansas definitely was extended from this Northern Iowa squad. So you're going to see some fight, and now that essentially after this intermission, they've had some time to regroup and redirect and change some things up, and maybe you're going to see a little bit more blocking commitment, I think, perhaps, going out and trying to slow down Jaylee Winters if you can. Might see the block of UNI shading a little bit more. Give credit to Lydia Dimke. I think she's ran a very effective offense for the Blue Jays, spreading the ball around, not being too offensive. And it's also understanding, you're talking about the Big East Player of the Year, understanding when to do that, when to utilize the set or dump, and when to give the ball to a hot hitter.
Dimke with a joust at the net, won by Creighton. There's some strength there too at 6'3", isn't there?
And tremendous timing. You got to think she's got to wait just a little bit longer here, and she pushed late, and she was hanging in the air, of course.
Low and late, I think you taught me.
Yes, but it was over her head, so she had to watch that go over her head and then press over the plane of the net.
Witt diving on the court again. Taryn Cloth, who had a nice start to the match, picks it up in the third set. Creighton out 2-0. Swing and a miss, just missed time there from Piper Thomas.
A perfect volley here, but as you mentioned, just missed timing on the play. But I like that they're getting the ball to Thomas in the middle.
Witt takes it for Creighton. From the back row, it's Winters. And that one's wide. UNI on the board.
And the UNI fan base standing until they receive that first point, and a very, very loud contingent in here yelling UNI throughout that point.
Great fan support for both schools. Big volleyball fans from both sides. Wilkinson. That ball is still up. Touched. Nice effort from Weber. But Marissa Wilkinson, who was almost unstoppable in the first set, gives Creighton a 3-1 lead.
Now you mentioned this fan base. You're talking about a UNI program that's been in the NCAA tournament 20 times. I mean, that's a very storied, program. And then Creighton has been 5 straight years in the NCAA tournament. So they have definitely seen a rise in that program and that culture.
Amy Held for Northern Iowa.
And this just attacking high hands. A smart volleyball play from Amy Held. Got to get the score right here.
Officials adjusting the scoreboard. We've got it right on your screen, 4-2. Sorgi serves it, looking for Winters. Winters makes a nice play to save it. Witt sends it across. And there's the fight from Northern Iowa.
I definitely think it's going to be imperative for Hainline to get very active in this set and come out big. And she's been fairly quiet. She's been involved in 4 blocks, so not necessarily that, but offensively, that's only her second kill of the match.
Wilkinson dug out nicely by Weber. Winters with a tough angle. Sorgi with a nice effort, but it's down.
Sorgi had a beautiful touch here off their left hand, but just out of reach, her range, and Held going after it. He knew she was flying in to the upright here.
Witt with a nice cover. That one wide from Creighton. Lauren Smith just missed. We have the pleasure of doing the Kansas matches through the years, and you see so many good players come through here, but Held is one of my favorites in terms of just her determination and her athleticism, and she's a lot of fun to watch play. Winters, there's pure power.
And this is Winters. You see how Hainline has to stay and commit to Lauren Smith in the middle. So that just opens some things up. So because of a good pass, it led to that open net essentially for Winters to attack.
Held with a quick swing. That one goes off the ceiling, still in play, but comes down a little quicker. Point to Northern Iowa.
And you talk about just how much you admire the play of Held. I mean, she went to go grab this ball. She goes back to serve, and she tells the line, thank you to the line official. Also something to be said there for some good manners as well.
Just misses along with the serve. Creighton up 2. Jaylee Winters puts it in play. They go back to Weber. It was a touch.
Kind of in basketball, like a give and go, essentially, as Weber had to first contact past that ball, get out to her touch point and drive. put that ball away, getting off the high hands.
Into the net from Hainline. Keeps Creighton on top. Now we're going to see Amanda Foji for the first time. Senior will put it in play for Lauren Smith. Weber finds an opening and puts it down.
That's just too good there. I mean, in the deep corner through the down the line, like how Weber is really attacking. And going after, that's going after Dimke too at 6'3", and that's the block that she's going up, but got it through.
And a nice sitting there for Piper Thomas, who puts it away. Well, post-Thanksgiving treat. Dimke wanted to dump it. Sends it back to Wilkinson. Marissa Wilkinson. Now Creighton by 1 as Dimke serves. We're even at 9. Wilkinson has to send it back across. Back to Wilkinson. She gets full power on that one and puts Creighton back on top.
She's had a great afternoon, and it's our 9th kill of the afternoon. And you talk about a player that, when her hitting efficiency is over 400, and right now it's sitting at 500. Creighton in her career is 33-0, so they have yet to lose when she has had the hot hand.
The Panthers looking for a hot hand, looking for someone to take control here is Lindsay Scholes. The senior brings it even at 10. Back to Wilkinson. Give Dimke credit for knowing who has the hot hand too, right?
Yeah, and I think they're trying to exploit too that one-on-one situation between Wilkinson and Held on that play.
Lauren Smith got a hand on that one. How about Held?
Well, I think Held heard me. She said, I'm going to show you I can block a ball. Good for her. Going up there and keeping those hands high.
All 5'9" of her.
And as you mentioned, she's probably so tired of hearing that. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're undersized. You can make up for it with plays like that.
But Creighton able to answer. The Blue Jays up 12-11. We'll see Jada Burse of Kansas coming up a little later. Maybe not the same type of player, but a little bit as you look at it, maybe say not the tallest, not undersized necessarily, but another player who gets the most out of what she's got. And now Hainline's starting to heat up a little bit.
Yeah, her second kill of this third set and get some things going. And it's just so athletic and long. I love this on the slide attack. See how quick that is. And that was that tempo of play that really beat this block. See that the block isn't there. They are not up because of the speed. And a lot of athleticism coming from the senior.
Held serves at Winters. Sends it down the line, but it's long. Now it's UNI with the lead.
Mini little service run now for Mamie Held.
Held with another good serve. Creighton has done a nice job of answering, haven't they? You and I have put some rallies together, and Creighton, you talked about the maturity level the Blue Jays have, and they don't get flustered easily.
Yeah, a sense of calmness, no doubt. I think that's why you've seen them, sweep so many matches and win in 4 sets, is because they, even if they've gotten down in a set, they've found a way to get back in it, and they've just been calm throughout.
That time Weber takes it off the hands. You and I with that 1-point lead. Weber tries to push it to the corner, but too long. Lauren Smith serves it. Looking for Weber.
Good things will happen when you just say aware. You're aware, you got to follow the ball, and that's exactly what happened for Northern Iowa on that play.
The Panthers are the first to 15. They lead Creighton here in the third, but UNI trails 2-0 here in Lawrence on ESPN. The Creighton Blue Jays trail Northern Iowa here in this third set, but
getting a little groovy here.
But
hey.
Creighton leads 2-0. We talk about the great fan bases, and there's just so much spirit. You can feel the spirit when you walk in the building from these two sides, can't you?
Yeah, you can. I mean, I love it. I mean, you talk about 2 volleyball programs. I think Creighton more on the rise, but UNI, such a rich tradition, and they've traveled well, and they're here. And anybody that has a love for volleyball, I'm a fan of. I will support you.
All right, Northern Iowa hanging on to a 1-point lead here in the third set. Creighton in the white, trimmed in blue and black. Wilkinson with the swing. From the back row, it's held.
And that's a definition right there on that play of Northern Iowa volleyball. I mean, you had a positive touch here, and you're able to gobble it up, and then back row coming with a vengeance as Amy held. You can
that
play
ball
this.
Is still in play.
Yeah.
Off the ceiling and off the curtain. Held was there.
no doubt about that one.
Ends any suspense to that point, didn't she?
Close said, well, I'm just going to go after this one again, and switched up the zone. They brought that ball in just a bit, and that opened some things up, and she absolutely pounded that ball.
Olivia Dimke now at the serve. And just as they have throughout the season, I'm sure, Northern Iowa bowing their back.
And they're in system, and they're able to run their middles. They're able to run them quick, and has led to Northern Iowa hitting a very efficient hitting percentage in this third set, 400. So they've been in system, have great pass up to their setter, have all options available.
Wilkinson again. Marissa Wilkinson, the junior.
Now just the
within 1.
second player in this match to reach double-digit kills with her 11th. And then continues to be the best in hitting efficiency, 529. So effective, efficient is Wilkinson.
Held. Cuts a tight angle, but it's wide. Now we're even at 17.
Well, I appreciate the aggressiveness. I mean, she actually went after that swing, and now here we are. And this has been a good one throughout this third set, back and forth, as no team really has had extended to a big lead.
Lindsay Scholes, the senior, wants to extend her career.
Oh, this one feels good because you're essentially one-on-one. You see how Piper Thomas has to stay with the middle as they run a quick, and that's just one-on-one against winners. And when you go up a one-on-one, you just got to take a lot of space. You got to go up there big.
Outside to winners. Through the Panther defense.
And a tremendous adjustment from Jaylee Winners on moving that ball around. A different angle of what she had attacked that with, went over the top of the block with the shot.
They'll try held. Ballinger looked like she got a hand on it.
And late in that second set, when I think Creighton's physicality played into a big part of that. Now we're going to see here late in this third set what's going to be the differentiator. And we saw a huge block right there from the Blue Jays.
Northern Iowa wants a timeout as Held has it turned back. It was Ballinger who got a hand on it.
And beautiful timing. I mean, that ball is off a bit, so you got to wait just a little bit longer, a split second longer, essentially, if you're the block, as Held was pulled off the net. So you got to wait, you got to gather, you got to coil, and you can see both of those players up together in unison.
You feel like you're in a bit of a phone booth there when you see those four hands come up?
You do. I mean, there wasn't a lot of seam to work with if you're Held.
The Creighton band making the trip down. Kansas Jayhawk fans waiting to see the number 5 seeds. The winner of this match will get the winner of Kansas and Samford coming up at about 6:30. But Northern Iowa still has a lot to say about this one. The Panthers down 19-18 after losing the first 2 sets. Olivia Dimke talking to her head coach. And it's Brittany Witt, the outstanding freshman libero, who will serve it up for the Blue Jays. Back to Winners. Tough angle. Sorgi was there. Held. Makes a nice adjustment, but Witt with a diving save. Winners. I think that's 19 kills for her.
And head coach gave praise, high praise to Winners, and said, you know, it seems as though late in the set, she just almost wants the ball even more. I mean, she wants that challenge. She likes to get that in those situations.
Winners goes that same angle. This time Sorgi lets it go, and it's wide.
And I might have thought the play before it might have been wide out of bounds too. So nice, give great credit there to libero, and that's Sorgi just being there, setting, knowing where you are on the floor, letting that ball go wide.
Dimke does a nice job to dig that one out of the net. Chance for the Panthers. And they take advantage. Here comes Northern Iowa, even at 20.
And a slide attack, and that's all about placement in that deep corner. If she would have went low and hard, she would have got blocked. So you look at here, what was open? It definitely wasn't through the seam. So she went over the top, cross court. That's a veteran play from your senior middle blocker in Hainline.
Kayla Hainline makes it 20 all as Creighton takes a timeout. And the Panthers get a chance to celebrate a little bit. Again, Creighton took the opening 2 sets. But we're even at 20 here in the third. What is the message inside each of these huddles right now?
Be the aggressor. Both squads. I think you got to go out here. You're not going to win in the NCAA tournament if you're going to be, you're not going to shy away from it. You got to be the aggressor. You got to put pressure on the other team. I think there are a couple different ways. I think from the service line, you got to get either of these teams. You got to limit their options. You got to get them out of system, if you will, and you got to know matchups. I mean, these teams, you spend so much time at this level, a high level of volleyball, scouting your opponent. So essentially, there's players and there's attackers that have tendencies. So what are those tendencies? You're going to talk about those. You're going to talk about those matchups. In this rotation, they like to run this offensive set. So knowing what your opponent likes to do, and then obviously, in match, just changes and making those and sticking with those and staying true to your style of play. I think if you're UNI, if you're getting some positive touches at the plane of the net, digging some balls and putting them away in transition, and if you're Creighton, keeping their setter in system and being able to first ball side out.
All right, let's see what happens. Northern Iowa serving at 20 all. Big swing. Ballinger was there. And just a freshman, Megan Ballinger, has been pretty good today. A stoppage in play here, I think. I was going to say the scoreboard. Yeah, they're still working on the scoreboard, but it is 21-20. Creighton, the score is right on your screen. Now we've got it on the big board. Ballinger serves again, just off the net. They're looking for held. Dimke got a hand on it. Winners. Weber. Great save there from Crawford. Held again. Crawford with two nice saves. Winners. Sorgi was there. Witt with a great save. I think Crawford was right behind her. You gotta get cleared for landing over there.
How about that? We're talking about a pancake here, and Hainline, I think, a little upset with herself. He was just like, man, I don't know if I got enough of that one, but the miss it essentially finds the floor, but tremendous effort. And you're talking about a team in Creighton that is out-digging their opponent right now, and UNI, traditionally known for their defense, 58 digs to 39 team digs.
Winners. Just caught the back line. UNI can't believe it.
Let's take a good look at this one as Winners just does get enough, and that one was clearly in.
Creighton by one. Make it even. 22 all.
Well, if your blood isn't boiling right now, I don't know what will get you going. A 22 all and a really decisive set now as UNI. And man, what a place right now is coming into this match.
Delaney Bolton will serve it up. Even at 22. Panthers need this set.
Great serve.
Taryn Cloth, the big kill for Creighton, 23-22. From the back row, Winners. Nice dig there from Held. Weber. Held unable to handle that one. As Cloth keeps coming up big here in this third set. Timeout, UNI. Panthers facing match points now.
A long rally, and Cloth was just doing too much. And what she did is she changed essentially her hand and her racket head to just put enough shading towards the line. And essentially that spin on the ball and spun away from Held on that play. And you know, I talked about Dimke off the top, but I think that the junior setter has done a phenomenal job. And leading in that assist category, she has 44 assists on the evening. And she's been great.
We'll see another great setter in Anise Havili of Kansas coming up next. But what is it that you like about Dimke? What did she do for Creighton?
I think she's put her hitters in great positions, I mean, to be effective. And she's changed it up and varied it up enough to get a lot of players involved. And you got to think of a setter as the quarterback, essentially, of your squad. And you're calling a lot of the plays, and you're running a system. And what's interesting, I think, too, about Dimke is she hadn't been trained solely as a setter her entire career. When she was at Purdue, they utilized her as an attacker and as a setter. So this is essentially the first time with Creighton, in that she's trained 100% of the time as a setter.
All right, Northern Iowa out on the court first. They know what's at stake. To extend their season, they've got to turn around this third set. Creighton will be holding match points as Lauren Smith steps back to serve. Overpass, Panthers swing away. Confusion on the Creighton side. UNI still alive. They've saved 1 match point. Wilkinson swings. Nice dig from Hook. Weber. Witt is there. Wilkinson again. Panthers cover. Weber. Weber again. UNI fights back 24-all.
Man, the point of the match. And look no further than the setter, Heather Hook. And she had 2 great digs to extend that. And then really just the aggressiveness to go after it with Weber attacking.
The overpass, and Piper Thomas takes advantage. Now it's UNI with a set point, and Creighton wants a timeout.
And once again, I thought the serve from Heather Hook led to that overpass. So give her, again, the credit. I know I talked about Dimke, the setter for Creighton, but rightfully so. I mean, a big compliment has to go on the other end. And just the aggressiveness, the awareness from Piper Thomas.
Just a sophomore, Piper Thomas has given her team a set point. And suddenly, the Panthers have life. And if you're Creighton, surely you don't want to see this go to a 4th set.
And more importantly, I think you just got to get out here and say, okay, we got to get our setter in system. We got a first ball side out. Try to get that ball back over to their side. And UNI try to close this one out right now. Serve aggressive. Go back there if you're Heather Hook. Serve aggressive, and what she does is essentially a low, flat floater serve. So there's no rotation on the ball. And what that is, a knuckleball of sense. And so there's no rotation, so it looks like it's going to hit a platform cleanly, and then the last second it can move and then just go up the side of your arm, and it can lead to a shank. But I think you try to avoid the libero for Creighton. I mean, she's been so good at first contact. So try to go after. They might try to go after Jaylee Winters as a primary passer, try to hit that seam or go line to line with the serve, with Heather Hook serving for the Panthers.
Heather Hook serves it. Wait, we've got a horn. Heather Hook might have jumped the gun just a little bit.
It was essentially, you got to think of a quick pitch in baseball,
yeah,
so a quick serve in volleyball. Right after that whistle, she was going.
She gets a smile out of it. Heather Hook, the junior, puts it in play.
A deep ball.
Set point for UNI. Sorgi there to cover. And it's Piper Thomas who puts it deep and saves this 3rd set for UNI. 26-24 as the Panthers fight off 2 match points to win the 3rd. We're going to a 4th next here in Lawrence on ESPN. Welcome back to Lawrence, where we are going to a 4th set between Creighton and Northern Iowa. The Panthers fight off 2 match points from the Blue Jays. And Piper Thomas sends it to a 4th.
And it was a positive touch that we're not seeing of the block that was able to lead to that dig in transition and utilizing Piper Thomas in the middle. And it was about placement on that attack. And how about that? I mean, saving off 2 match points. And never say die attitude. I mean, some teams want to have it and some teams just have it. And that's definitely that grit, that attitude. And when that happens, I mean, you definitely get some confidence back on your side. So it's going to be interesting now. How is Creighton going to respond? I thought that we had that one, in the bag, winning and being able to sweep that. But now we're going to a 4th set.
Dimke serves it. Weber swings away, and the Panthers are first on the board here in the 4th. Creighton goes outside, and it's Thorne Cloth who splits the defenders. Even at 1. Kenzie Crawford for held. With there to cover. Wilkinson has it sent back. Wilkinson again. Touched by the Panthers. Point to Creighton. Held had it blocked. Right there for Creighton. Winters splits the defenders. Jaylee Winters, the 6'3" sophomore.
And wonderful play from Witt, the libero for Creighton, to lead that dig and set up this play. And that's Jaylee Winters, and keeping that hot hand. 21 kills in the match.
Right back, it's Piper Thomas. I know you talked with Bobby Peterson extensively, but it just seems that she recruits a certain mentality, a certain type of player that just seems to kind of fit that UNI mold.
And you're talking about both of these head coaches were tremendous players. I mean, you're talking about translating from their playing days to head coaches. And Bobby Peterson, I mean, I joked with her before, it's just a match that, I mean, she led and she played at Northern Iowa. And I said, Coach, she was like, yeah, essentially I've never left, but why leave? I mean, the culture, the community, they support their volleyball team and their program.
Wilkinson with a swing, but it's long.
And no touch, good call from the up official. As Wilkinson just missed that one. Wish she could have that one back, but still hitting .409. Not too many errors coming by way of Wilkinson.
Held takes advantage of the overpass. And Northern Iowa with a 2-point lead.
And that will give a smile to Held. She thinks thought she was going to somebody go up, but essentially a 5-1 system, and Demke is on the back row, so can't contest that play at the plane of the net. That's why you didn't see Demke jump.
Winters. Sorgi with a nice dig. Weber. Point to Northern Iowa. (6-3) Panthers. That serve just long. The freshman Brittany Witt still manages a smile in this pressure-packed situation. She puts it in play. Witt can't dig that one though, and UNI on a roll.
And an in-system ball, and that's Hainline. Didn't get that one cleanly, but gets it just enough.
Winters. Got a lot behind that one.
And this is a combination play here. You can see Hainline jumped with Smith, and this opens some things up. And it didn't push all the way out to the antenna, so essentially not a high ball, but a quicker tempo ball to a different zone, and that's what led to that kill.
Weber with a soft touch. Witt there to play it. Winters regroups. That was Weber with a nice dig. Now Weber swings. Winters again. UNI extending the points and winning those long ones.
Just working and driving and being available with her setter. And on that quick tempo ball, you just got to follow your setter, keep that appropriate distance essentially on that quick attack and transition.
Now Amy Held to serve, who just reached a milestone in her great career.
Yeah, over 2,000 career digs. I mean, that is tremendous.
Jaylee Winters Can hurt you with the power. Shows the changeup there.
And just awareness of when to do that. And you know that if you set it up with having a couple high-powered, deep shots in the floor, only for a sophomore.
That ball is long, no touch.
And I think just a little bit low on this set from Hook. This hangline was skying up. And then the height of that ball, you can see just the adjustment from play to play. And I always appreciate when setters go back to the player that just had an error, get it right back to her. And it was a higher ball for Hangline to extend that arm, essentially.
Dumped there by Dimke, but Northern Iowa able to play it. Dimke over her head, Witt there to cover. Winters from the back row. Up high from Lauren Smith. Coach Bernthal Booth likes that one.
And there's a couple setter dumps in that rally, and so they're essentially jumping with Demke, and that opened the net for Lauren Smith to take care of.
Nice play from Hook. Creighton able to cover. Weber swings, and yes, there was a touch. Point to UNI.
And you're seeing some crafty plays from both setters, I think, right now. The
setter dump
behind her head. She hadn't done that all afternoon. And then down the line for some open space.
Winters from the back row. Hits it wide. And UNI has the lead here in the fourth set. Wilkinson has it blocked. How about Piper Thomas? How big has she been?
I think she's been huge. She really has. I mean, 12 kills, 5 blocks for Piper Thomas.
And now it's UNI with the lead, 12-8 here in the fourth set. They trail 2-1, but the Panthers are rallying in Lawrence. The NCAA Volleyball Championships. We've got a good opening match. I didn't realize we were the first action of the day, and we've got a good one for you. UNI, Northern Iowa battling back against Creighton as the Blue Jays took the first 2 sets. UNI faced 2 match points, fought them off in the third, and now they lead in the fourth, 12-8.
Yeah, it's been a good one. I mean, it's settled in. Creighton's going to have to fight back way through this one and midway through this fourth set. UNI, I think, has carried this momentum into the fourth.
Sorgi was there. Witt with a nice save. The libero's going mano a mano here. Witt with it. Wilkinson got a hand on it as well. The ball is down and point to UNI.
And just working, and Witt almost gets this one up enough. Wilkinson just couldn't handle it, but Witt already with a career afternoon. The libero for the Blue Jays, 29 digs.
Winters comes flying in from the back row, but it's too long.
And now it's been a pair of back row attacking errors from Winters on the back row, and we're going to see a substitution just as changing it up, and the senior Jess Bird. And talked to their head coach, and she could not say enough great things just about the type of leadership that Jess Bird has provided to this team and throughout her career.
She comes in and adds a spark.
How about that?
UNI wasn't going quietly, were they?
Well, you're showing why. I mean, it's hard to keep, it's hard to keep Jess Bird on the bench. I mean, that's been a position as of late. And it changed midway through the season. When these two teams played earlier, she had that starting position as an outside hitter, so she definitely has that talent, can play that spot.
Wide from the Panthers, point to Creighton now.
Well, UNI has been so hot offensively in this set. Really, it's our first attacking error, unforced attacking error, hitting .333 in this set.
Weber. Point to UNI.
And that's in the net and trying to
Wilkinson?
block. Trying to block the ball. And Creighton not being able to register a team block in this fourth set yet.
Bree Weber.
I don't think there's a touch on that.
Yeah, it looked like it went into the net. But the ball gets it right.
Yeah, but Piper Thomas says, well, I'm going to make it for sure. Go ahead and get this one. And she's leading all players in this match now, being involved in 6 of the 12 team blocks. So when you look at the blocking category, UNI out blocking 12 team blocks to 7 Creighton blocks.
Winters takes it into the stands, and UNI has a 17-10 lead. Well, after 2 match points, Creighton finds itself down here in the fourth, 17-10. What a turn in this match.
And it's just a pickup from Weber. You see her getting that and then extending the rally, and then the spin of that ball, I don't think Winters was expecting. So it just essentially spins off of her arm. She thought she was there with her platform, and the trajectory of that just goes off her arm out of bounds.
Winters has really done a fine job.
No, she
even
has.
from the back row.
Yeah, no doubt.
She's received a lot of serve and does a very, very good job. She's an excellent attacker as well, but a fine volleyball player.
Yeah, definitely. I think she's obviously leading all players in this match. Been a bit quiet in this fourth set, but 23 kills involved in 8 digs. And I give applause to the UNI block, but on the other side of the table, when you're looking at digs in this match, I mean, Creighton is out digging, interesting enough, out digging UNI, 72 digs to 55 digs to Northern Iowa. So
we talked about Brittany Witt, who's having an outstanding day, and Kenzie Crawford as
career,
well.
Yeah,
is
career
playing very well
as well. 16 digs for her, but it seemed to be, though, there's getting some positive touches when UNI needs them the most, whether it be, I think, the play of Piper Thomas, you mentioned. You're talking about a middle hitter that's leading the Panthers in that kill category with 14 kills.
So it's Bree Weber putting it in play. Winters takes it. Wilkinson with a big swing. Held, looks for that line and finds it.
I mean, that's Heather Hook once again with the defensive play on the back row. And that led to that just a heads-up awareness play from Held, tipping it deeper in the floor.
Bird has it blocked, and it's all Panthers right now.
Piper Thomas. There you are once again. And her coach liking it. Bobby Peterson gets a little.
Bird hits it long, and it's UNI to 20. Taryn Close checks back in. Bree Weber's done a nice job behind the service line. Winters takes that one. Mistimed and an opportunity perhaps for UNI. Wilkinson was there at the net. Held has to send it over. Now a chance for the Blue Jays. But they can't take advantage. And it's Northern Iowa to 21 now.
And they're rolling, and essentially a free ball, unable to take advantage of, are the Blue Jays, and everything right now is absolutely rolling for the Panthers.
Wilkinson winds up and puts it away. Creighton needed that one.
Yeah, they needed that one to get something going, and essentially now Jaylee Winters is going to rotate, though, now back to the front row. So essentially you have the leading attacker in this match, back on the front row. So trying to get some positive momentum on your side if you're the Blue Jays.
The rare one that Brittany Witt can't get to. Lindsay Scholes for Northern Iowa.
And you see a double block, and I think there's just miscommunication. And Witt was a little bit tentative on going for that because she thought that Wilkinson was going to run through and pick that ball up.
Wilkinson with a big hit goes into the stands, point to Creighton.
And a solid first ball side out for the Blue Jays.
Weber. Nice dig from Crawford.
Yeah, gorgeous dig.
And one of the few times that Jaylee Winters has one sent back.
And Hainline seeing what Piper Thomas is doing, so I'm going to get involved. And that's a huge left hand. And when she's coming through, she's closing the block, but then also reaching opposite essentially with that left hand and pressing over.
Creighton stems the tide for now. Bobby Peterson's squad still 2 points away from this fourth set to force a fifth.
And they've been red hot. They're hitting 414 in this set. Doing everything up until right there, I think, working their way. But give some credit, back-to-back plays from your senior, Lauren Smith. Killed and followed it up with a block.
23-14. Hainline takes you and I to set points.
And that was just a wonderfully executed play. And I love the play call. I love the slide attack. It was a quick slide and the connection between Hook and Hainline.
Held serves. Off the net was her touch, no. Fourth set goes to Northern Iowa. The Panthers battle back and win it 25-14. You want championship action? We've got it. We're going to a fifth in Lawrence. Northern Iowa and Creighton here on ESPN. Drop another marshmallow in the cocoa. We're going to a fifth set. Leif Fleisig, Jill Dorsey Hall with you from Lawrence, where Creighton and Northern Iowa are going to go to 15 to decide it. It was Creighton winning the first two sets. Northern Iowa fought off 2 match points and won the fourth to force this fifth. What did they do in that fourth set?
They just continued hitting at a very high efficiency. UNI, I mean, they were able to beat in system, and they utilized their middles. I thought Piper Thomas has been great all night, and Hainline getting involved as well. I thought Bree Weber provided some spark. 5 kills in that fourth set alone. You look at the last 2 sets for Northern Iowa, hitting 311 in the third, 387 in that fourth set. So they're the ones switching the tables on Creighton when Creighton ran out and it was very efficient. And especially in the first set, hitting 379. They've cooled off now, and some of that I think was some back row attacking errors from Creighton. That last one rolled off the net and didn't go their way. But here we are. I mean, everything's out the door now, and you're talking. We got December volleyball. We got a high, major implications on the line. The loser goes home, and I always like to think of the fifth set as you got to jump up to the early lead, but it's like penalty kicks in soccer. I mean, you never want both of these teams to lose.
And it's Creighton drawing the first point in this fifth set. Kenzie Crawford serving. Weber, wide.
I'm not sure if there was a touch on this play. Ooh, that was close.
We see the Panthers react almost immediately. Tough call there through the net. And now it's Creighton quickly out to a 3-0 lead. And Bobby Peterson wastes no time in calling a timeout. We'll take a break with him. Creighton out to a 3-0 lead here in this deciding 5th set from Lawrence here on ESPN. Where Creighton has jumped out to a 3-0 lead over Northern Iowa here in this 5th set. Kenzie Crawford serving it up. Witt there to cover for Creighton. Winters. Sorgi was there. Witt took that one off the chest. Sorgi played that one, but somehow Northern Iowa keeps it alive. Wilkinson is blocked. There's the fight from the Panthers.
Yeah, the fight and a much needed side out. I mean, definitely in a game, is set to 15. I mean, every point is so critical, but it's a shortened version and a lot of fight in this just to get this ball over. A heads-up play and then a block diving into that seam.
There's Heather Hook with a nice save in there. Winters fires again. Panthers keep it alive. Wilkinson, tough angle. Past Sorgi.
And Wilkinson's just so quick and athletic. Watch her sky up here. Fast arm swing. And then she's up. Look how high she flies and skies.
Panthers let that one go and the serve goes long. Back to Winters. Jaylee Winters gives her team a 5-2 edge.
And Jaylee Winters just firepower. She was driving in transition. I mean, she has 61 attacks in the afternoon, almost double the amount of anybody else in this match, but not showing any fatigue.
Sorgi with a nice dig. Amy Held went up against a wall there. Ballinger serving at 6-2. Held. Stopped again. Held swings. This time Winters can't handle it.
And that's a sharp ball from Amy Held. So I'm not going to try to attack these forehands. I'm just going to go right in front of him, cut that angle sharp.
Just off the net. That ball's still up. Held. Off the hands.
And that was quite a play. I mean, I think Creighton thought that ball hit the floor. UNI somehow pancakes that ball up and alive, so the rally gets played on, and then just a heads-up attack off high hands from Amy Held. So back-to-back kills from the senior trying to extend her career.
Dumped over, but the Panthers are there to cover. Held. Winters has to play it back. Held again. This time the Panthers can't save it.
Wonderful response from the Creighton block to get that one as Amy Held was attacking attacking that one. Man, there's everybody on the edge of their seats right now. Both fan bases up on their feet.
Who are you going to go to for Northern Iowa?
The senior. Yeah, you're going to go to Hainline. And you're second, barely second in your team with total kills. And I love that little side step, that fast slide.
Witt takes the serve. Outside they go to Weber. Winters is there. Weber again. Witt covers. Winters has to dodge her on the court. The official says no, touch, it was long.
I think it was out of bounds. I think it was a good call. Well, let's take a look at this one. That was a bang play.
Northern Iowa trying to draw even. Amy held serve. Is this any good? We're even at 7 in the 5th set.
And Hainline
in the first round of the NCAA Volleyball Championship.
I know you're going to bring the firepower, but I'm just going to go and put up a huge, major block. Does that senior, and man, I'm going to take a good look at that one if we can back at it. And that's just a strong left hand. Those are blocks. And I was a libero, so I didn't have a lot of those, but that just feel good. I mean, you had that straight down.
There's a thump sound, isn't there, that just kind of reverberates and lets you know how powerful those two hits were.
16 team blocks now from UNI. And here we are as Creighton jumped out to such that early 3-0 lead, and then it held that commanding lead. But man, again, I know it sound like a broken record, but Northern Iowa, just tremendous grit. And the plays, rallies in this set that we thought were over. We thought that maybe that ball had hit the floor, but you never say die attitude and keep those balls up.
This match has swung
from
one side to the other and then back again, and then maybe for a fourth time. Unbelievable as Creighton took the first 2 sets. Northern Iowa won the third, faced 2 match points, saved them, won the fourth, and now here in the 5th at 7-all.
And 3 straight points. And Amy Held isn't going back there serving a lollipop either.
No.
I mean, she's absolutely getting after this jump serve of hers. She is ripping it.
Witt takes that one. Back outside they go. Taryn Cloth puts it away. Creighton first to 8 will switch sides.
And a smart shot to use the hand and go shade more towards line. You can see that's hook and just getting after this. Yeah, right hand, and she was trying to press in and just didn't get enough of it, but beautiful shot from Cloth.
Again, we're going to 15 here in the 5th. Creighton's Lauren Smith has the ball, ready to serve. Weber, high off the hands, off the ceiling, still in play. Blue Jays do a nice job to save it. Hook dumps it over. Good save by Smith. That one off the net and finds the court.
Some good things happen if you're the aggressor and you're taking a swing of it at it off the net. I mean, that's on the 10-foot line. Just gets enough of it and falls in.
Creighton by 2. Held from the back row. Overpass. Panthers take advantage. Kayla Hainline.
And Hainline had a lot of composure on this play, not to intrude with the setter, but she waited until the ball crossed the plane of the net where she could go after and attack it.
Great patience in a pressure situation. Wilkinson brings the hammer.
Does she ever? And that definitely had some authority. And Sky's up, and she had some space. And she has been so efficient on that right side. Gorgeous set from Dimke.
Creighton by 2. Olivia Dimke to serve. Held takes it outside to Weber. Panthers within 1.
It was a wonderful pass that led to that in-system ball from Northern Iowa.
The Panthers come up big again. Lindsay Scholes.
There's another one of those seniors. When you look around this floor for Northern Iowa, and Hainline and Held and Scholes, that's a solo.
Wilkinson. Marissa Wilkinson, the junior, with a big-time kill. Creighton by 1 as Kenzie Crawford takes the ball. Wilkinson again. Held was there. Great save by Sorgi. Wilkinson. Going towards the stands. Panthers save it. Wilkinson again.
try again, does Wilkinson. And man, you and I did all that I could to keep that rally alive. It's just too much firepower now as this free ball sets this play up. And the connection between Dimke and Wilkinson.
Timeout for Bobby Peterson and Northern Iowa. As Creighton now 3 points away from this match. What a start to the action, huh?
A tremendous start. And I really do think there's a ton of parity in the game right now in NCAA volleyball. I definitely think that there could be a lot of matches in this tournament that could be extended, the distance.
You talk about parity in volleyball, but how about the Midwest showing up big in these, in not only the seedings, but I think you'll see
top
as a
16 teams.
Absolutely.
You look around the central region of the Midwest, it's just all the schools that are hosting. I mean, you have Nebraska, you have Kansas, you have Kansas State hosting as well. You have Missouri, you have Texas, and Minnesota, Wisconsin. I mean, you're all in that.
Nebraska.
Nebraska as well. The Central Standard Time zones are definitely showing up, and I thought Creighton was really just on the outside looking in. Perhaps maybe a little bit disappointed they weren't able to host these first and second rounds.
It's been a battle. A lot of fun to watch. 2 hours and 21 minutes worth. Kenzie Crawford steps back. Her squad leading by 2. Into the net. Bree Weber can't wait for the ball. Winners.
Just
wide.
missed it. Just missed it wide.
That came right at us.
And take a look at this. Just, I think the net, it hit the net just enough to change the trajectory of that ball.
Even at 12, the serve goes long.
On Sales. Weber had a little umph behind that one.
We feel you. Amanda Foji now into serve. And she does a great job with an ace and brings Creighton to match points.
Hasn't been in too many aces in this ball game. That's only the second ace, and both of them are on Creighton's side.
Another good serve. Held swings. It's blocked. Creighton moves on to the second round. What a match. (15-12) in the fifth. What a battle. What a start.
Yeah, you definitely can't hang your heads if you're Northern Iowa on that performance. I mean, you really showed a lot of grit and heart, and then also that response from Creighton and battling back in that after that fourth set defeat where everything seemed to go Northern Iowa's way. A tremendous response.
It's Creighton winning it in 5 sets. What a battle from Northern Iowa. To watch this entire broadcast as well as other events on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. A big thank you to our Rock Chalk video crew. Todd Kober courtside with us. Jill Dorsey Hall, always a pleasure. We had a great start to the NCAA Volleyball Championship as Creighton moves on to the second round. Kansas and Samford ready to take the court in the nightcap. A great start to this championship. More volleyball to come from Lawrence here on ESPN.